I never thought I'd have to make a video about tax, especially on my birthday, but unfortunately this needs to be taken quite seriously, as you could potentially lose 30% of your ad revenue that the viewers in the USA make you if you don't. But don't panic quite yet, it might not be as bad as you fear. So what's happened? Well, basically Google has to legally collect tax information from all monetized creators outside of the USA. So you might have noticed this big red bar in your YouTube studio pop up asking you to fill out some scary looking form. Well, that's what that's all about. So these forms are going to work out if they need to auto deduct tax from your ad revenue that the viewers inside the USA bring to your channel. That also applies to money from memberships, super stickers, premium, the works. Now I do need to repeat this, but this tax is only going to hit money you've made from your USA viewers, which for a lot of you is probably going to be a large percentage of your views, which is why this sucks a lot, but for some it might not be. And even if it is, it still might not be as bad as you think, as there are some countries out there with something called a tax treaty. So the UK and Canada have a tax treaty with the USA, and it could mean that you don't have to pay anything else or anything extra, or not as much as the full whack. Some countries also have a reduced tax rate, but it really will depend on a lot of different things on the form. Unfortunately, even if you don't have any viewers in the USA, you have to fill out these forms too, otherwise they will take up to 24% of your ad revenue across your entire channel, not just from the views you get in the USA. Now you need to get this done by the 31st of May, so there's plenty of time, but you really do need to make sure it gets done. So I'm afraid we can't just ignore this. Like all the other tax bills I get. What's worse is we need to get used to filling out these kind of forms because we're going to have to do it every 3 years. Annoyingly, if we've got to pay tax in America, how long is it until the rest of the world comes knocking too? So the question you probably have right now is, how much money am I going to lose then? Well, before you rush into anything, let's try and work out the worst case scenario. So hop into your YouTube analytics, then click on advanced mode, then click on geography and select your secondary metric as estimated revenue. And then set your date range to show the previous month, because tax is going to get calculated monthly. So the number you can see now next to the USA is the number you could potentially get taxed on. At worst, up to 30% of that number. But remember, you might not actually have to pay a thing, depending on how your forms go. So hopefully you're not panicking too much. Hopefully you're a bit more relaxed. Either way, you've got to go fill out those forms, so I'm going to walk you into filling them out as far as I can get before it gets too overwhelming with options. So to start, go to your AdSense and log in. Click on payments, then manage tax info. The first thing you need to state is if you are an individual or a non-individual, which is a question that will probably confuse you because it's not as easy as it sounds. So an individual account is owned and operated by a human, not a legal organisation. So taxes are filed in the owner's name on a personal tax return. So if you've never registered yourself as a business for your channel and your money just goes to your personal account, that's potentially you. A non-individual is a business account that's separated from its owner for tax purposes. So on this channel, we are a business. The AdSense goes to the business, so we would have to tick that. And then when you tick that, there's another box, which basically is asking you if your company name is different from the owner's name. Once you've done that, you'll then be given a form. So if you're an individual, you'll be presented with a W8BEN form. And businesses will have a host of options, but a W8BEN-E form is probably the most likely, but do check. And then the most important thing to fill out here is your country, because you may have a tax treaty. Now, if you are like us and you're a business, get ready to call your accountant because it gets really flipping confusing. In fact, my accountants hadn't even heard some of the terms on here before, so they've got some work to do too. Yes, more expense. That's as far as I can take you, I'm afraid. Once you've filled out your forms, so long as you've done it right, you should be set up. And then I have my fingers and my toes crossed for you that your bill isn't too bad. I really feel for creators right now who rely on ad revenue. It must be a awful shock to wake up and hear that you could potentially be losing quite a lot of money. And if you are panicking and you're thinking that you need to replace that income, I've left a video in the comments which will show you how another creator managed to increase their business's turnover 670%, and some of the things in that video I think might genuinely help you replace what you've lost. Check it out.